This is typically how you see my bench, and in fact I've done a video before about the lighting above the bench, and well, actually if I just hold one finger there, you can see there are clearly 4 shadows and there are 4 cob LEDs above my bench that I put up there some time ago, and they're on a movable track so I can move the lights backwards and forwards a little bit, but ultimately they're pretty much straight up. Over the last few weeks I've got a little bit frustrated with the lighting not fulfilling my needs entirely, so I went on eBay and I found this, the W228 LED video lighting light. It's a Pro LED video light, a W228 LED. That's reminiscent of the fact that it's got 228 LEDs in this particular unit, and it will mount on a camera hot mount. Features are mentioned on the back. Apparently it's 20 watts, which is pretty good, 90 degrees angle, LED longevity 50,000 hours, luminous flux 2000 lumens, we'll see, colour temperature 6000 K, which is an interesting statistic or interesting number, because I believe this has daylight and warm white LEDs that you can mix between the two. So how they've come up with an exact colour temperature, I'm not so sure. Colour rendering index greater or equal to 85% and achieving 93% light efficiency. Yeah, full of stats. But without further ado, I think it's time to open the box and see what is inside. So first of all, we've got that, part of that mount there, and then, yeah, the lamp itself, and as you can see, 228 cob LEDs, and you can see the difference there between the phosphor on each LED, so clearly it does have 2 different colour temperatures. All of those look fairly even and reasonably well soldered by the looks of it. On the back is some sort of battery indicator, and on the side some switches that don't suggest anything. There's no key or mention there of anything. Now I'm a little bit concerned. There's a manual, right, in Chinese and in English, but there's no battery. So I'm just having a look at the listing on eBay here, and to be fair, no, I don't think it mentions a battery anywhere. Lots of nice pictures of the unit, but yes, it doesn't mention a battery, or in fact what type of battery this takes. Right, now looking at the manual, there's notes about cleaning the thing, and then this is what I'm interested in: method of application, battery installation. In fact, it mentions that this takes the Sony MPF series batteries. Now that looks a bit like those sort of big chunky batteries you used to get with camcorders, doesn't it? But I don't have any of those. But what was in them? Was it a couple of lithium cells, or was it? I'm not sure. So they attach at the back. Oh right, so it mentions here the power switch there, and then the 2 faders for the 2 different colour temperatures of lamps. We are getting somewhere. And the last page does show voltage. Okay, 7.5 volts. That's a bit of a peculiar number. I wonder if it would damage it if I put 8.4 volts across here using 2 lithium cells. Well, it's definitely worth a try, because at the moment, sat here with no battery, it's not doing anything, is it? Right, so I've attached the lamp to my Ruideng DC to DC converter, my sort of bench power supply here in the background, and I'm not sure I'm aware of the polarity here, and it might be wrong. So I'm limiting this now to just 50 milliamps, and I've set the voltage to 7.5 volts. So if I turn that on, we have the 7.5 volts there and no current. So is that just off? Let's flip the switch. There we go. So we've now got 50 milliamps flowing, and the voltage has collapsed because the current limit has kicked in. So let's see about increasing that a little bit, and there's an awful lot of current being consumed at a very low voltage. So I think I might have this connected the wrong way around. Let's swap over the leads and see what happens. Now I've swapped the polarity, so if there we go, look, straight away 100 milliamps, and the thing is lighting up. So clearly I had those connected round the wrong way previously. So I can increase the current, and that voltage is creeping up with it, and in fact it's consuming about 1.5 amps at the moment at 7.5 volts. Well, shall we increase the voltage a bit and see if anything goes terribly wrong? Right, so I'm all the way up there to 8.4 volts. We're consuming 1.64 amps, 13.85 watts. Well, oof, crumbs, that's bright. I'm probably getting a bit warm. Now, the indicator on the back, I wonder if I can I turn these off? Yes, excellent. So the indicator at the back at 8.4 volts says that the cell that's connected is fully charged. Let's just reduce that a little bit and see where it drops down to 3. There it goes. 7.2, 7.3 there. So it suggests what? It's 3/4 charged at 7.3 volts. So yeah, 8.4 volts seems to work perfectly well. So that's excellent. I can shove a couple of 18650s in this and have a portable lamp. Right, so let's have a look if we can get inside this unit. There are no obvious screws, but there are a couple of clips perhaps there. So let's get the spudger in. Perhaps. No. Let's see if we can. Well, I'll be honest, I'm really struggling to get in here. I've tried pretty hard, and I don't want to damage this, but, well, I have a little bit, but its function, I'm sure, will still be fine. But yeah, I'm really struggling to get into this thing without breaking it apart. I've just got no way. I can get the spudger in a bit, but it seems very well put together. Perhaps that's a good thing. Perhaps the Perspex cover is covering screws. Yes, it is. So I can just work my way around this, then hopefully I can get in. Yes, that's working well. I don't need a Perspex cover. Cracked it. Not literally, but yes. So there's what, 8 screws there to take out, and then I can get in. Right, and that last screw comes out, revealing the collar, and 4 more screws holding down the LED PCB. Right, so with those 4 screws removed, the LED circuit board will lift up, and there we've got. So we've got 4 wires connecting from the PCB down here. So obviously that's cool white and warm white, or the other way around. The battery connector here, 2 potentiometers, and that switch. And then this area of the circuit up here seems to be an exact mirror of this area down here. And we've got an inductor, a Schottky diode, capacitor, and a couple of ICs. Now, that one, those two pins are shunted together, and these two pins are shunted together. And in fact, I can only see that one pin there going back to this IC. So I wonder if that's the MOSFET, the inductor, the Schottky diode of a boost converter, or perhaps, oh yeah, I guess a boost converter. And that, do you know what, that's an NE555, that's a 555 timer, so that seems fairly straightforward. And then in the middle, what's that there? We can see it's an LM339, so that's a fairly simple little circuit. And now I've got access as well to the main positive and negative here. Well, I've got a chance of putting some 18650s in here. Right, so having had a look at this now, I think what I can do, if I just put that back, is on the back here I've got one of these 18650 holders, a dual 18650 holder, and that pretty much just covers that hole there. It doesn't go in it, sadly, but it does just cover it. So potentially with a bit of glue, that will sit quite nicely on there, and I can shunt these two pins together, so we'll get positive to negative, and then I'll connect that through to a couple of bits of wire. Probably I'll slightly drill this case, I suspect, and then hopefully that might be quite a neat little solution. So the 18650 holder is going to cover this area, so these holes don't need to be neat or anything, so I'll just get them straight in. Oh, there we go. Oh, perhaps I need a sharper drill bit. So now I just need to take off these cables, and let's just heat that joint up a bit. Oh, crumbs, that's taking a bit of work. There we go, that's the positive, and there we have the negative, and those wires now can just go down those holes. And I'll just freshen up the solder on the end, and tin the connectors on the battery holder, or should I say cell holder, and flow those two together. Now this one might be a bit more tricky. Hopefully a little bit of red tape at the end, and there, and one there, will prevent me from putting in any cells the wrong way round. And to double idiot proof myself, positive, positive. Now I've recovered these two cells from a laptop battery, and they're very closely matched, 2130, 2125 milliamp hours. So let's give them a whirl, make sure everything's round the right way, and switch on the switch, and look, we can see the battery indicator is full. And if I just turn this a little bit, there are the cold white LEDs and the warm white LEDs all working nicely. Excellent. Yeah, I don't want to turn it up too much. So that's the unit back together again, apart from the Perspex screen. Add some double-sided tape on it. Yeah, that perhaps is not going back on quite as well as I'd hoped, but well, that's just for cosmetics really, isn't it? So I think it's possible I might have got away with a poor eBay purchase. Once this is glued in place, I think that will work quite well, and we can turn it on, and I think it works quite nicely. It's quite a nice light, it gives out fairly well diffused, that sort of thing, and obviously I can change the direction of where the light comes from, and that hopefully will improve the video quality of my videos in the future. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, comment if you can, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.